support and against civilians. How do I This is not professional. It's not professional. You have to question
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Order matters. I'm an officer. I take to orders.
So what? You had a who? Damn me.
So I'm an officer. I take to orders.
To order that you take it.
Okay, Mr. General.
Okay. You can never
develop
develop this property. I will not allow it.
No problem, sir.
I'm
only acting on my
orders.
If
you want to kill everybody, kill everybody.
We will not kill
you
anybody,
cannot.
Sir. We will not. We will not kill anybody, sir.
You put yourself in trouble.
We will not.
My friend, you see, what is that?
You cannot touch me up. Look at you. You cannot touch me up. You are my senior. You cannot even talk when I'm talking.
Okay, so show of shame. First off, let's state the obvious before we go into the details. The video has gone viral and a lot of details are now coming out, but of course we'll state the obvious. In a civilized clan, say maybe in the United States of America, a politician openly calling a soldier a fool is qualifiable to make you lose all other elections in your life. The politician's role in the democracy of any country is temporal. The most you can be is 20 or 20-something years, as it were. And sometimes you cannot equate whatever level of input you are putting into defending the sovereignty of that country to that of a soldier. So soldiers are eternally respected and honored. But of course, that's Nyesom Wike, the bully, openly calling an officer you are a fool and all of that. Of course, before we get into all of that, let's state what really happened. And I will take my friend's reports, very brief and very, I think it's something that is worth the while. A couple of other corresponding reports from other platforms seems to agree. So Mary wrote the full story, FCT Minister versus the Navy. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike was denied access to a disputed plot of land at plot 1946 Gadowak district, reportedly linked to former Chief of Naval Staff Awal Zabairu Gambo. According to report, soldiers stationed on the land blocked the minister's convoy with a truck, refusing him entry. In the now viral video, Wike can be seen visibly angry, shouting, swearing, and accusing the military personnel of intimidation. At one point, some men believed to be with the minister were seen pushing the soldiers who stood their ground, trying to hold the line. Wike, enraged, lashed out, telling one of the officers, "Shut up, you're a fool," before vowing that the property would never be developed. This confrontation didn't just expose tempers, and this is Mary's usual style. I enjoy it when she gets here. It exposed how power and ego often replace procedure in Nigeria. Because think about it, when a serving minister trades words and shoves with on uniformed soldiers, the question is who's actually in charge, the law or the loudest voice? In any working democracy, soldiers don't guard private land and ministers don't swear at officers on duty. But in Nigeria, impunity is always in uniform, sometimes khaki, sometimes agbada. Very, very balanced. And I like Mary for that. State the obvious. The reason why the soldiers will be guarding a private property linked with a former Chief of Naval Staff, of course you should hear it there and Wike there, is because everybody now knows that procedures do not work in this country. there's no respect for rule of law. Because normally, when there is a dispute, you go to court and everybody obey court order. But the man has to use his own influence to get naval officers to go and mount guard on the piece of land. Because that is the only hope of protection he has. That is the only hope. Because the courts are not his. Nobody owns the court. Because everything... When we tell you that the biggest problem of the Nigerian state is rule of law, is lack of rule of law, lack of constitutional democracy, lack of due process, lack of separation of power, this is what it means, basically. And this is where it is getting to, where it is the toughest, the most powerful, the loudest voice, the biggest influence that plays. Imagine if this man did not have the influence to get naval officer, Wike would have. That's the point. At this point, we don't even know who is right or wrong, but we are saying, and guess what? Why will Wike want to go and use a shouting match to impose his authority on a land? Because he also knows that that's the only way he can get it right. If we have procedural composition, if there are mechanisms put in place in this country for things to work without your personal influence, rule of law, as long as it has all of the document and everything, soldiers will not be mounting guard in a plot of land in Abuja. They should be in the borders protecting the sovereignty. As I talk to you now, ISWAP and Boko Haram fighters, they are currently fighting. Nearly 200 terrorists have been reportedly dead in this fight in the Lake Chad Basin in Nigeria. In a sovereign land, terrorists are doing gun battle. They are shouting on top of waters. But our naval officers, who primarily should be on top of water, stopping that nonsense, they are guarding peace of, and there are many plots of land around Nigeria that they are guarding. And the FCT minister, who should be a custodian of rule of law, who is a person that has, guess what? And he's a member of the body of benchers. He's a lawyer. He took his own squad to go and suppress. Why? Are you not the court? Are you the police officer? You want to execute your own rules in our disgraced country. That's it. Disgraced country. Nothing more to add. Of course, you know me. Anytime we can't have problem coming, I am so ready to televise it worldwide. I don't mind. But you see, all of this exposes the cracks in our system. And if you are still clapping or dancing, if you are still happy, either side, Nigeria, they go. We are losing it, oh. We are losing it. The next it will happen, somebody will be shot. Maybe not the minister. Maybe not the gallant soldier. We now know that as A.M. Yerima. Of course, remember, the only way this soldier can do this is because he has political backing. Beyond just, we hear that it's only the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, the chief of defense staff, and the chief of army staff that can give some sort level of instruction, and then the soldier will be. But it also means that the soldier knows that he has a strong political backing. Of course, there's a Yerima family in Nigeria politically. I don't know, maybe he's linked, maybe he's not. But for him to be there in this level, of course, he has been. Even to get to the rank he is at his young age. Politics, push and go there. I don't know if we are getting it. I beg. Nigeria, a now disgraced country.